Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today I'll be doing a double review just because I don't think I can get enough content out of just one of these, or I'm a little bit too lazy to bring out enough figures to get the most out of these. Anyway, these are Tamashii effect parts, and I've got several of these, and I've only done one review in the past, which was, I think it was the blue wind effect, because that sort of coincided with the Naruto release and sort of worked really well as a Rasengan thing. And so I looked at it then, but I didn't really revisit any of the other effect parts that I had. Since then, even more have come out, and I thought I'd look at these two together. So today we've got the Effect Smoke white version, as well as the Shock Impact yellow version. To my knowledge, these are the only colors of these designs, but the way Tamashii does a lot of the effect parts is they'll do different colors eventually. Usually to coincide with different releases to make the effect make sense a bit more. Like their lightning effect they've released like 3 times now, and I think the latest one was green to sort of work with the s.h.figuarts that just came out. So they are going to probably revisit these in different colors eventually as well, or they'll just keep re-releasing them. Anyway, these are effect parts sets, and they are basically used to liven up your displays, make your figures look a little bit better or a little bit more dynamic. And these two sets in particular are really good for like set dressing or action. So first up, we'll look at the Shock Impact, because it's the one that I sort of used the least, or I think I utilized the least. And basically these come in big clear boxes similar to a lot of the other Tamashii products. In the Shock Impact, you get 2 clamshells, you get 2 large but differently sized like sort of impact effects, as well as 2 smaller impact effects. All 4 of these are different sizes, so you can sort of stack them together and create a bit of depth. You can use them for actual impact shots of being hit, powering up, striking, things like that, and they are encouraged to be used like that. They do also come with clear clips that you can attach onto like legs or arms and things like that to help the effect hold onto the figurine itself. And they also have plugs on all of the pieces, so you can attach them to any Tamashii base, any 3mm ported base or anything like that. So you can do some aerial poses and things like that, or just hold figures, or stack up the display in different ways. So for this, I did very, very basic ones just because I was kind of lazy. So I did a sort of charging effect with Super Saiyan Vegeta, and I think if you combined this with one of the aura effects, I think this would look really nice. I think the Goku effect part set that they did earlier this year would look good for it, or just the basic aura effect. But I do like how it looks for like a Dragon Ball sort of aura. I think it works quite well. And I also attached it to Goku mid-punch, and that was relatively easy to put on. It reminded me a bit of the other effect part set that they had, where it was the sweeping attacks and things like that, where it would be like a ring that you attach and then you click the hand in. These are clamps that can open and close, so they can work for different sizes, which is kind of cool. And I wouldn't mind them implementing this in a future Dragon Ball effect part set, or sort of pushing harder for this effect part set to be used specifically for Dragon Ball. And then with some really messy stand work, I got a bit of an aerial pose of Vegeta kicking into Goku and causing impact. Yeah, I could have just put the effect part on the ground and had Goku reacting to it, but I didn't think that far ahead now, did I? So this is an amalgamation of like 3 different stands, and it was kind of awkward to set up, which is why Vegeta's sort of floating awkwardly. But the impact effect set is pretty cool. I think if they did it in a slightly different color, a different shade of yellow, or shaded the yellow differently, because this is like a clear plastic, it would have had just a little bit more oomph. But as it is, not too bad. It looks almost like an energy effect, and the way that the box sort of uses it in the promo images, you can reverse the impact to make it look like a muzzle flash from a gun and stuff like that. So you could use it for some more unique energy effects and blasts and attacks, which I do quite like. I just didn't feel up to doing it because I had already brought out a bunch of other figures for other stuff, and it just seemed like an extra hassle to do at the moment. I am also recording this on New Year's Day, so I am quite tired, but it is what it is. Now, the other effect part set, which is the one that I had a lot more fun with, is the smoke effect. in general, I felt that the smoke, you can get a lot more out of it because it's a nice bit of set dressing. It doesn't necessarily make something more dynamic, even though you can use it like that, but it does like complete a look and really sets a scene or creates a lot more emotion or like dynamic range to a character. So you get a bunch of different smoke effects, all in different sizes. There are several quite small ones that are similar in size, but not exactly the same sculpt. And you can pivot them either way you like, and they'll look like the smoke is billowing in different ways, which is cool. It's not just going in one way, and there's variety. You can move things around. Would have kind of liked 2 very large smoke effects as well, but this variety is still good. And if I wanted another one, I could grab another one. But as it stands, it's pretty good, and it just gives, like I said, a little extra oomph to your displays. So it's like something simple, like putting Sasuke in it with a drawn sword. It's not an action pose by any means, but it seems like something has just happened, or he's just made an appearance, and that smoke is billowing out, and you get a better look of the character, and it's quite menacing, cool, looks very good. There's the obvious choice where you can do it as like the smoke from Gear 2nd for Luffy, and that works quite well. If he had some more serious faces, this is pre-time skip Luffy, if I had some more serious faces on hand or didn't want to open up any of my other One Piece figures, I would have had the face detail a little bit more noticeable, as well as like a ready pose, but I might do something like that when the Luffy effect part set comes out this year. And then one of the other ways it works really well is for Naruto. The smoke is such a huge part of Naruto, whether it's like a substitution, shadow clone, anything like that. It's such a huge part of it, and it finally makes the shadow clone poses look just so much more natural, so much more going on. There's no like empty wasted space. It also sort of helps mask stands if you're using them, like this shot that I've done here with one Naruto doing the shadow clone and another one jumping out. You could also use it as sort of dashing effects where like the character's running, so it gives a little bit of movement to them, and it's just really nice. And even then you can do like dust being blown up from action and fighting and things like that, and it's just a really simple but really effective set, and I enjoyed that one quite a bit more, and I think it's because it was just easier to get a grasp of, and none of the figures necessarily needed a stand to make this effect part work, whereas the impact one sort of needed it to get the most out of it. But I'm sort of splitting hairs here. Both of them together are very good effect parts. If you had to choose one, I'd say the smoke one, and that's more so just because I found more value in it, and I thought the unique sculpt of it was way cooler. The impact one, we've sort of seen stuff like this before with some of the other effects they've done, or you can replicate similar things with it, but nothing exactly like this. But overall, both really good effect parts. Eventually I'll get the most out of them, but for the moment I was just playing with them and opening them up and having a quick little look, and I thought I'd record it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you all next time.